everyone, my name's Alex. I'm a physiotherapist from Physiofunction, and I'm going to be taking this level 1 different strokes exercise class today. So for anyone that's new here, level 1 classes are designed for individuals who may not have any movement in their affected arm or leg. It is a seated class, so there'll be no standing at all in this class. Please be aware it is a requirement that you have someone available to assist you with exercises as needed. So this is week 2 in our lower limb series. So today we are going to be focusing on the glutes, so these big bottom muscles you've got, and core, okay? So these muscles at the back here, these bottom muscles, they're big, powerful muscles, okay? And they're really important for balance, for power, for helping you stand. So if they're really important ones that we want to work. So we're going to focus on activating those in sitting, and then we're also going to work on our core, so our tummy muscles, our posture, okay? Again, really important. So we're going to start with a little warm-up. We are then going to go into a set of exercises. So there's 4 exercises, but one of them is split into 2 rounds because we're doing 1 round per side. We're going to do those for a minute each with some rest between, and then we are going to try and do that twice. So let's get started. Sit nice and tall in your chair. Find the floor with your feet, okay, underneath your knees. Let's try and find the middle, okay? So you can rock side to side. And just really try and think about finding a position where you have equal weight going through your left and your right bottom cheek. Okay, find that there. When you find your middle position, bring nice and tall through your spine, lengthen up through the back. Let's do some nice big breaths in and out, so you can shrug your shoulders up as we breathe in through our nose. And then let it all go as you breathe out through your mouth. Good. Let's do 2 more. Big breath. And out. Good. 1 more. Big breath in. And let it all go. Lovely. Okay. So let's start by doing some nice shoulder rolls backwards, 1 at a time. Up, back and down, alternating sides. Good. Really trying to get some mobility, some movement in those shoulders, warming them up, just doing as much as you can on your affected side. Good. Let's hold your hands together, okay? Reach forward out in front of you, and then pull those elbows back. So you're just moving within your limits, the range of movement that's available to you, forward and back. Really nice. Just getting things moving. Good. Okay. Now a little bit of a different one here for our trunk rotation. Let's take those hands, reach them to the right, twist at your waist. Good, back to the middle. We're going to reach over to the left. So again, you're just moving in the range that you can, going left to right, but we're really just thinking about moving a few inches either way at our waist. So twist a few inches to the right, reach that arm out, pull them back to the middle, twist a few inches to the left, and then back to the middle. Keep nice and upright here. That's it, lovely. Let's do 1 more each side. Good. And then settle those arms down. Lovely. Hands on your lap. Let's grow nice and tall. Squeeze those shoulders back and down. Lengthen up through the back of your neck. And then round that back. Slide those hands. Option to drop your head. Grow tall. Squeeze those shoulders back and down. Lengthen up through your neck. And then reach those arms forward. Round that upper back. Option to drop that head. Shoulders back and down. Go lengthening up through the back of that neck. And slide those hands forward, rounding that upper back. Option to drop that chin. Find that lovely tall seated position here. Okay, shoulders are back. And let's think about lifting one knee, placing it back down, and then the other knee. Okay, just a gentle seated march here. Moving your legs just as much as you can. Okay, if you want to, we can try and increase a little bit of speed. You could be holding onto the armrest of your chair. Again, just working with whatever ranges are available to you. Now really try and keep your body as upright as you can. Try and keep that back away from the chair or as light as possible. So really fighting and working on keeping that nice upright posture. Good. Let's do a couple more here. Good. And then we're going to try and step those legs sideways. Again, alternating. Really think about keeping that body facing forward. Moving as much as you can, side to side. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Okay? You're just moving with whatever you have available to you. Side to side. Really good. Still really focusing on that posture. Really trying to move from your hip. So again, if it's a really little movement, doesn't matter. If you're barely moving, but you're thinking about it. So remember, we want to try and encourage those pathways from your brain to your muscles. So we're really thinking about the movement. Good. And relax there, lovely. Let's just start with some leg slides. So we finish, with some leg slides. So right leg, let's try and straighten out that knee and then bend it as much as you can. So again, you could be helping it, if it's your affected side, de-weighting it with your hand. Your assistant could be helping you. Again, you're just moving as much as you can. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Good. And then let's go to the other side. Lovely. Good. Again, helping it where you need. Just moving at your own pace. Let's do one more. And relax. Okay. So the first exercise we're going to do is a seated clam. Now, option here, if you have a resistance band with you at home, you could use that for this exercise. So I've got a loop here, but if you've got one of the long resistance bands that you could tie, there's the option to use that for this exercise, okay? So if you're gonna use the band, put your feet together, put your knees together, and then have your assistant tie it around your knees. So you want it firm, but obviously not like super duper tight, okay? So don't cut off your circulation. So firm around your legs. So you want it so it's not slack when your knees are together, okay? I'll show you here. So mine's a loop, so I'm just gonna loop it around already. Okay, you want to tie it around your thighs. Again, I like to flatten it out so that it doesn't sort of dig in. Again, if there's any males with particularly hairy legs, then I would recommend putting it over your trousers or shorts, okay, just so you don't snag any of your hairs. That can be a little bit of a painful experience. Okay, so you're going to be bringing your legs out and back in, okay? So this is the option with the bend. We're trying to think about keeping the legs working at the same time. Now, if you really don't have it, if you have minimal movement in your affected side, I want you to work on, you could try and stop that leg from moving as you move the other side, because that's going to still work it, or you lose the bend, okay? And if you don't have a band, okay, or you're really just wanting to work on that affected side, I want you to keep that unaffected leg stable, and you're just going to move that affected leg in and out. in and out, okay? So that's our first exercise. So pick your option. So you could use the band if you want to, or you could work just on that effective knee coming in and out, okay? So we're gonna go for 1 minute in 3, 2, 1, okay? Nice and tall, just gently going in and out. So I'm keeping my feet, I'm not stepping my foot, I'm just moving from my hip, okay? Trying to really work on this muscle on the outer part of my hip, okay? You'll be also working on the inner thigh muscles too to bring it back in. If you wanted to add a bit of resistance here, you could use your hand to push against with your knee. So push against your hand as you come out and back in. Or your assistant could give you a bit of resistance. So you're having to push your knee into their hand as they try and resist you. So that can be a good way of adding a bit of extra challenge without a band. Okay, let's do one more. And then rest. Lovely. Okay. The next exercise we're going to do, so while you're resting, I'll show you. We're going to have feet back underneath your knees, okay? You're going to be sat towards the edge of your chair if you can, okay? So obviously you want to maintain your safety, but you want your feet down on the ground, and I want you to feel like you can get some weight down through your legs. If this isn't possible, if you have something that you could raise underneath your feet, so this could be some big fat books or something to raise your leg up, so if you're in a wheelchair, and it's a bit tricky for you to get your feet on the floor. If you've got some big books or something, or a small step that you could use, you can have that underneath your feet. You want your feet so they're about 90, your legs so they're about 90 degrees at your hips. You don't want to be too far up here, okay? Or you don't want to be too so your feet are dangling. So you want to get weight down through your feet. You're going to push down through your heels into the floor. So you might want to lean forward. If you're going to have your hands on your lap, have them on your affected leg, okay? Think about pushing both your legs down equally into the ground, squeeze your bottom, and then relax. So you just, as if you're trying to squish something underneath your feet. So we're going to go for 1 minute. We're going to hold each one, so I'll count you in. Sit nice and tall. You're going to lean forward, push down the ground with your feet. Feel your bottom muscles activate. Hold that there. And then relax. And again, lean forward, push your feet down into the ground. Really dig those heels down. Feel your bottom muscles work, almost as if you're gently lifting off the chair. And relax. And again, so push down equally through your legs. You can give a little bit more reinforcement through that affected side. And then relax. So you're feeling those bottom muscles almost, they're not actually lifting off the chair, but they feel like they're giving, a little bit of lightness is happening. So lean forward, push down equally through those legs. Really think about pushing the ground away. Squeeze those bottom muscles and back. Remember, this is all about the bottom muscles. One more, lean forward, push down, squeeze your bottom, feel that lightness. Equal pushing and relax. Lovely. Okay, next one we're going to do is a seated hip hinge. Okay, it's almost like a deadlift movement, but we're doing it in sitting. So I'm going to show you this one from the side. So again, I want you to sit so that your feet are resting firmly on something. You're trying to get your hips at that 90 degrees, okay? You don't want to be up here, you don't want to be so your legs are sort of out low or dangling. Try and have them sturdy on the floor. Sitting nice and tall, hands can be relaxed down, or they could be on your lap if you need that extra support. We're hinging forward from the hips. So notice here, I am keeping my back nice and straight. I'm then going to squeeze my bottom and use my back muscles to sit back up. If your hands are on your lap, again, you're leaning forward. Think about hinging from your hips, keeping your chest up, and then squeeze your bottom, use your back to bring you back up. Hands are down, it's almost like you're reaching down to the ground and then coming back up. So towards the ground, back straight, using those tummy muscles, okay? We're not collapsing here in the back, really having to work on use those bottom muscles, those back muscles to really maintain that posture. Okay, so I'm gonna go for 1 minute. Again, hands can be on lap or down by the side off you go. So we're hinging, think about reaching towards the floor, but you're keeping that back straight. Now use your bottom, squeeze it, bring yourself back up. Good, and again, hinging from the hips, keep looking up, keep that chest up. Squeeze your bottom to come back up. If hands are here on your lap, you're just leaning forward. Remember, hinge from the hips and then squeeze your bottom to come back up. Try not to push through your hands, only as you need. Okay, so leaning forward. Squeeze your bottom, come back up. Good. You're over halfway. Keep that chest up. Really think about leaning from those hips. So you're hinging from your hip joints down here. Really keeping that body nice and straight. Back is straight, chest is up. One more. Let's lean forward and then squeeze your bottom to come back up. Awesome. Okay. While you're resting again, I'll show you the next exercise. So we're going to do a minute per side for this one. So same exercise, we're doing 2 rounds. You're going to sit nice and tall. Now, for this one, I am going to take off my shoes just because it will help my feet slide. You could use a plastic bag underneath your foot, okay? This one's really focusing on our core and our balance. So you're going to sit nice and tall. If you can, try and sit without using your hands. So you could have your hands crossed above your chest, could be held together. If you need that little bit of extra support, you can use the arms of your chair, but you're really trying to challenge your balance here and keep that nice upright posture without your hands. So first, we're just going to do the left leg. We're just going to slide that foot forward and back. So we're just doing a little movement with our foot, but we're really trying to keep our chest up, so we're trying not to lean back, okay? Good. If you want to, you can add a little heel lift here as well. So we're just working on keeping that posture while moving your leg. So option to add the heel lift. So we're going to go for 1 minute. Off we go. So maintaining that posture, bending and straightening, option to add that little lift. Really keep that nice upright posture. If you want, sometimes I quite like having my hand on my tummy. This is a bit of a reminder to really keep those tummy muscles drawn back and in. Really focusing here on minimizing the movement through our waist. So we're not letting our body, as we bring our leg out, we're not letting ourselves lean. Okay, we're not leaning to bring our leg back in. We're just trying to keep our body nice and still, nice and symmetrical, but really working on isolating that movement in your leg. Remember again, if this is your affected side and you don't have much movement, you could literally just be working on trying to de-weighten that leg a little bit. Any movement you have. Good. Okay, we're going to go to the other side. So if you need to have a bit more of a rest, you can do. Okay, but we are going to go for the right side in 3, 2, 1, off you go. So same thing, you're straightening that knee as much as you can, pulling it back, option to lift that heel. So again, nice and controlled. Really trying to keep that tummy in, those shoulder blades back and down, lengthening through the back of that neck. Okay, good. Really, really focus on that posture. Good. If you're finding it really difficult on your affected side, then you could just work on moving your arms forward and back. But again, really focusing on keeping that posture and not moving back from your body. Good. Good. Let's do one more, or finish the one you're doing. And stop there. Fantastic. Grab yourselves a drink, okay? And then we're going to go back to the top of that circuit again. So we're going back to our seated clams. So again, option if you wanted the band around your knees, you could have that. I will show you that this time. Or remember, if you're wanting to, you could just work on that one side, or you could work on both of the legs. Okay, but if you're putting the band around your legs, you can have that. Get your assistant to tie that for you, or your assistant can be there in front. This time you could have your assistant if you want to, so your feet and knees are together. Have them with their hands on either side of your knees, You try and push out against their hands and they're going to try and stop you, okay? You're going to push, 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 so they can allow a little bit of movement out, but they're trying to give you some resistance. So you're really having to work those bottom muscles. You'll feel those muscles in the side working. Okay, so we're going to go for a minute. Again, feet together, knees together. If you've got the bandit secured, you could use your resistance to provide resistance, or you can just work again on that. You could work on alternating one in, one out, having to stabilize on that affected side where you move the other. Okay, we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, off we go. Out and in. Really, again, thinking about posture. I harp on about it a lot, but it's really important. So you're really trying to think about isolating those movements from your hip. Again, another really important thing is us being able to stabilize through our body and allow our legs to move separately. We don't always want to move as one big piece, okay? It's having that stability in our center to allow that freedom of movement in our limbs. So we want a bit of both. We want stability, but then we also want fluidity and mobility. So it's really important that here we're working stability of our core whilst we're working on the mobility or the movement at our hips. Good, let's do one more. And relax, fantastic. Okay, so you can lose the band. If you didn't have one, that's okay. And then we are nextly going into that push down. So having your feet down solidly onto the floor, onto your books or something, just make sure it's nothing you're going to slip in. So it would probably be more sensible to have your shoes on for this one. You don't want anyone's feet slipping out away from them. Okay, oops. So back underneath the knees. Remember, hands can be on that affected side. You are pushing the ground away, feeling those bottom muscles activate as if they're lifting you off the chair, okay? They're not actually lifting, you're not actually lifting, but it feels like you're getting that de-weighting through your bottom. So we're going to go for 1 minute. Off we go. Push those feet down. You can give a bit of extra push down through your hands. Squeeze your bottom. And relax. Good. Lean forward, bit of weight down through that affected leg and push. Squeeze. Feel like you're lifting off the chair. And relax. Good. Forward, bit of weight through that leg. Feel the ground and push those feet down. So really think about pushing down. Try not to push forward so you don't want those feet slipping, and down. So I think push through your heels. Okay, lean forward, think about digging those heels down, push down with your hand, squeeze your bottom muscles. Good. And relax. Let's do one more. Lean forward, big push. That's it. And relax. Awesome. Okay, grab yourselves a drink if you need one. We're going to go into that hip hinge again, okay? So that leaning down and back up. Now, if that's a bit tricky, another option you could try is having your feet a bit wider, hands in the middle here, and you're reaching down and back up. So you could do it here, okay, with a bit more, if you've got a bit more stability there through your legs. So same thing, I'm still keeping my back nice and straight, but both my hands are coming down towards the floor, but I'm not touching it. I'm just thinking about them lowering. Okay, I'm moving from my hips. So the movement here, if we're focusing on, is just hinging from the hips and back up again. Okay, so either to the side, again, that looks like this. So feet are nice and wide. We're leaning forward and then using our bottom muscles to come back up. So notice I'm keeping my back really straight. You're only moving as far as you can control. Okay, we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Hands can be on the lap, remember, as well. Leaning forward, squeezing your bottom to come back up. Good, so really focusing on keeping those tummy muscles drawn in gently. As you lean forward, squeeze your bottom. Really actively think about it. Really good. Again, you're only working with whatever range is comfortable for you. So when we're coming back up as well, try not to be pushing through your hands more than you need. Really, I really want you to think about squeezing your bottom. This is definitely our bottom focused class, remember? So we're thinking about getting those bottom muscles working. Really important muscles again for supporting your back, stopping these back muscles from overworking, which with a lot of us happens. A lot of us, our bottom muscles don't like to work very much. They get a bit lazy, like to get a bit snoozy. So it's really important to wake them up again. Good stuff. So that's where you just really need to think about it sometimes. Like actively think about squeezing them. Just try and wake them up a bit. And then they might do their job a little bit better. I definitely have to try and work on that all the time, because if I don't, they just don't want to work very much. Okay, so on to our final one. So that leg movement whilst working on our core. So again, you can have your feet off, you can have a bag underneath your foot, nice and tall, sliding our leg forward and backward, heel up and down option. So on your affected side, remember you're just working on as much as you can. So even if you just get a tiny bit here, that's okay. You could even alternate it if you want to. You could do a little leg and then an arm, working on keeping that upright posture. Or you could, if you have a bit more movement, you could just do the whole thing. But remember, you're just trying to think about as much as you can. Even just focusing on your posture holding is really challenging. So when you're ready, we're going to go for the left leg in 3, 2, 1, forward and backward. And an option to have that heel lift, you don't have to. Again, really focusing on keeping that nice upright posture with slow controlled movement. Remember that stability in our trunk, in our body, that mobility that's happening at our hip and in our leg. Stability and mobility, it's the key. We want bits of both. Good. Well done, guys. We're nearly there. Lovely. Keep it going. Good. And stop there. Really short moment, and we're going to change legs. Last one. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Right leg. Forward and backward. Option to have that heel lift. Lovely. That's it. Keep it going. Really working on keeping everything engaged here. Really trying to keep that back away from the chair if you can. Okay, or as light as possible. Good. You're halfway. Okay, we've got 30 seconds to go, and then that is it. Another class done. It'd be great to know actually how long some of you have been doing these for. If you've been doing them for a while, or if it's your first one, leave a comment, introduce yourselves. I always love to see any feedback I get from people. And relax, fantastic. Good, well done. Okay, we're just going to go into some stretches now to finish. So get yourselves a drink if you need one. So as I was saying, I love to see your feedback and comments. So if you have anything you would like to, if there's anything you'd like me to include, if you do have any feedback, positive or negative, then leave it below or send a message to our Facebook group. And I always recommend that there's so many videos now that we have on the Different Strokes Charity YouTube page and Facebook page. It's been going for over a year now, so there's a massive backlog. So many exercises, exercise circuits to add variety to your routine. They're new every week, so we try and change them up and keep them sort of new and different to add that sort of like variability to your exercise routine. So really check them out. Try and do, if you can, at least another 2 to 4 in the week. So remember, we're trying to aim for that 150 minutes of exercise in a week. So that could work out as 5 lots of 30 minutes. So 5 of these, or it could be that you're doing it in 10-minute bouts. So you could do, some of these ones, and then if you do some other activity in a day, then it's just sort of incorporating all of those, all adding them up to try and meet those government guidelines for health. So stretches now, we're going to bring that left leg back underneath you. So slide that foot back as far as you can. If your heel's off the ground, that doesn't matter. We're going to push down through that knee to try and feel a stretch in the back of that ankle. Make sure your foot's flat. So if you have no shoes on, make sure your foot's not rolling over, okay? Try and keep that big toe mound, the ball of your foot, near your big toe on the ground. Good. Lovely. And then we're going to change legs. So bring that right leg back. Okay, lean down through that right knee to get that heel down towards the floor, or until you feel a stretch in that right calf muscle, okay? Just above that ankle, between your knee. Knee and your ankle, between your knee and your ankle. Breathe in and out here. Good. Okay. Now we're going to have our left leg nice and straight. You might need to wiggle your bottom forward a little bit, or have something to rest your leg on. Hands on your bent knee. You're going to sit tall, hinge forward from those hips again. So that's that hinging motion. Back is straight, chest is up. Breathe there. So you're just trying to feel that stretch down the back of your leg. Really nice. Good. And let's change legs. Right leg comes out, nice and straight. Bent left knee, hands on the bent knee. Sit tall, hinge forward, just until you feel that stretch, and hold that there. Good. And just be really proud of yourself for doing this today. Good achievement. So always be proud of yourself when you've done anything good for your body, positive for your body. And then come back. Lovely. So we're just going to finish with a nice big cleansing breath in and out. So again, breathe in through your nose, shrug up those shoulders. And breathe out, just let it all go. Lovely. You can give everything a little shake and a wiggle if you want to. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you all again next week. Take care, guys. Bye.